Are you afraid of sharks? Maybe you've seen Jaws and now you're terrified of any creature of the deep sea. Modern sharks can be scary, but they're actually more peaceful than you think. However, in the history of this planet, there was one absolutely blood-curdling beast in the waters. It probably could give you reasons to be afraid of the great sharks, and his name was Megalodon. What was Megalodon like? Before we start picking other monsters for mortal combat with the Megalodon, let's see what it was. Megalodons lived in subtropical and temperate waters of both hemispheres. There are remains of Megalodon found in the freshwater bodies, so it's possible that this shark could live in both saltwater sea and freshwater rivers. The first Megalodons came to a historic arena around 20 to 23 million years ago, and about 3.6 million years ago they went away, to be replaced by new species in the waters. Megalodon was a very big boy. It could grow up to be anywhere from 46 to 65 feet, 14 to 20 meters long. As for the more average specimen, the alleged length of a typical Megalodon was about 34.4 feet, 10.5 meters. Megalodons weighed about 33 to 38.5 US tons, 30 to 35 tons, but it's very possible that some of them could be even bigger, up to 49.6 US tons, 45 tons. And the best part, it had an incredible 250 teeth in 5 rows, and with every broken tooth, a new one grew in its place. An average Megalodon could have about 40,000 teeth during its lifetime. At least he didn't have to go to the dentist. But it's worth mentioning that all the information we have about Megalodon is highly speculative because we mostly have sharks' teeth to tell us the story. Other remains are very rare. It's been a very long time since Megalodons rampaged down the seas, so we don't have much reliable data about their appearance. For the longest time, the scientific consensus was of the opinion that the Megalodon looks something like a great white shark. Today, paleontologists assume that it could look more like a whale shark or a sand tiger shark. These terrific beasts were active predators, and usually they like to have smaller whales, large fish, and seals for dinner. A combination of factors probably caused the Megalodon's extinction. Climate change made oceans much colder and intensified the competition problem for these sharks. They simply couldn't adapt to the new world, and extinction was inevitable. Megalodon was an apex predator, so it's possible that some of the creatures on the list would still have lost versus this giant shark. But we're here just for fun, so let's find out which of these prehistoric sea animals could potentially win in a fight with such a menacing monster like Megalodon. Leviathan. The first of the bunch, a sperm whale Leviathan, was probably one of the biggest rivals of our friend Megalodon. He was an apex predator too, and one of the biggest animals who ever existed on the Earth. Leviathan lived in the Miocene epoch, and different sources say that it probably circled the ocean about 12 to 13 million or 10 to 9 million years ago. In any case, Leviathan lived alongside Megalodons and probably was a big pain in the head for our shark friend. As for the Leviathan's size, scientists believe that its length was somewhere between 44.3 and 55.8 feet, 13.5 and 17 meters. We don't know about the weight, but we have something even more exciting: its teeth. The main weapon of Leviathan, its mighty teeth, were really huge. Every one of them was up to 14.2 inches, 36 centimeters long, and about 4.7 inches, 12 centimeters in diameter. With these teeth, the monster could bite into the flesh of younger whales, and of course, Megalodon. Leviathans and Megalodons lived in the same area in the ocean, so they probably fought one another over food. Leviathan had those deadly and very strong teeth. They were much smarter than the Megalodon and could react to the situation quicker. So, the smarter Leviathan would have coped with Megalodon, even if the shark had bitten our dear whale friend. A mighty whale is not a failure, and it would be a winner in the shark-whale battle. Colossal squid. This one can be a little bit of a stretch, but we're talking about the extinct species as far as we know, so we can relax a little. Colossal squid can grow up to be a big fella and weigh about 1,100 pounds, 500 kilograms, and be up to 46 feet, 14 meters in length. you can assume that a smaller, much lighter and almost boneless squid couldn't defeat Megalodon in a million years, well, not so fast. There is a way it could win in a fight with a Megalodon. If a Megalodon attacks it deep enough in the water, a squid can attack back a Megalodon with its strong beak and wrap it around with its tentacles. It would have stopped a shark from moving, and a Megalodon would simply drown. Squids are very smart. They use tools while hunting and can successfully disguise themselves when needed. I don't think the colossal squid would voluntarily fight with Megalodon, but if it could have happened, well, the result could be up to Megalodon's luck. Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus was one of the coolest squamate reptiles that ever existed on this planet. It was a big, deadly monster that ate large aquatic creatures in the seas, a worthy opponent for Megalodon. The biggest species of this reptile family was a Mosasaurus hoffmanni. It lived from 72 to 66 million years ago and could become up to 56 feet 17 meters long. Its body was thinner and more maneuverable than one that modern whales have. Mosasaurus hoffmanni was the most advanced among the family, and it probably had very good sight. Its teeth could handle very powerful bites, so poor Megalodon would feel that on its skin to the fullest. It's a very speculative thing to assume who would win in a fight between these two, because there are ages between them. But if a Mosasaurus had used all its assets with bite, force and sight, Megalodon probably would have lost in this battle. Deinosuchus. Deinosuchus, the famous crocodilian which looked like a walking nightmare and terrorized prehistoric lands. The ancient reptile was an apex predator, and it hunted on large dinosaurs, big fish and even large turtles. It was fast, and it had bony plates called osteoderms that protected it from almost everyone. An adult Deinosuchus was about 39 feet 12 meters long with a tail, weighed about 7.7 to 8.7 US tons, 7 to 8 tons, and looked quite like modern alligators. So, why do I think that it could fight and win against a Megalodon? It's simple. Deinosuchus was equipped with protective plates, had an impressive bite force, and experience in fighting much larger animals. Deinosuchus ate big fish, so I think it loved to bite into the grandest fish. Too bad that it had been long gone when Megalodons came. Basilosaurus. Let's finish our list with another grand apex predator that was a prime carnivore of its time. Basilosaurus, the ancient whale, was a grand animal. Its length was comparable with Megalodon's, from 46 to 65 feet, 14 to 20 meters long. This animal was once mistaken for a reptile, but it was actually a whale with large teeth and a slim body. Basilosaurus's diet exclusively consisted of large sharks and fish. The interesting fact about this whale, Basilosaurus was capable of biting into its prey and it could also chew it. Basilosaurus was very much like its modern relatives, orcas if we talk about the diet. In a fight, Megalodon versus Basilosaurus, the last one had pretty good chances against the first. Basilosaurus specialized in killing large sharks, had great teeth and the power of a mammal brain on its side. Pretty good combo, in my opinion. Now you know about some of the magnificent creatures who could go into a fight with a scary Megalodon, come out as winner in a battle, and then tell their grandchildren the fascinating stories about it. So, which one of them do you think is best? I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, and I also recommend you to hit the bell button so you'll receive notifications every time I upload a new video. Thank you very much.